Hello everybody, I'm Tim Blair, and it's time for the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update for the week of September 11th, 2013. Our weekly web updates are brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com with the good folks at Piggott State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, and serving the region since 1930. Well, if you watched last week's weekly web update, it originated from right over there in front of the Ryan Pounds Memorial Show Barn here on the Clay County Fairgrounds on the north edge of Piggott. We're back this week, but a lot more activity going on here. We're here on Thursday afternoon, and that is the traditional date for the livestock judging. The pigs, swine, they'll be judged over by the swine barn. Back here in the Memorial Show Barn, we'll have the goats, sheep, the cattle, and also the horses. They'll be judged as well back here, and a lot going on here on Thursday afternoon. It is a rather hot Thursday afternoon, but the good thing is the promise of the weatherman is it's going to be much better for Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow, of course, is Youth Day here at the fair. I have kids coming in from all across the county. We have activities going on, including a magic show, demonstration by the FFA members, and so forth. A lot of fun things going on there. They will have the hot tractors will be pulling over at the arena on Friday evening, and then on Saturday we've got the parade kicking things off at 9 o'clock coming through the downtown area and up to the fairgrounds. They also have the canine show. A lot of other things going on throughout the day on Saturday, and wrapping up with the demolition derby that night. So a lot going on. I had a chance to look at the exhibition building. A lot of good exhibits this year. Good participation in the fair in both the exhibits and also in the animals. So we've got a good presentation, and we encourage everyone that can to get out and visit the annual Clay County Fair here going on through Saturday night at the fairgrounds here in Piggott. We'll take a look at some of that stuff coming up in just a moment. Let's get to the news. This week's edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, we have all the preview of this week's fair. You can get all the schedule, the pageants, and everything that will be going on here in the commercial exhibit building on Saturday. We have all that information in this week's paper. We also have a preview of Saturday's Native American Day, which will be going on noon to 3 up at the Matilda and Carl Pfeiffer Museum. That's all can be found in this week's paper as well. We also have information on the opening of the new Casey's store that is set to open on Thursday the 18th now, and we have that information in this week's paper as well. Also had some news going on the past week. Sunday afternoon, fire broke out in the Los Compadres restaurant, which was formerly the A&W root beer stand here in Piggott. Had a pretty good blaze there. We had a chance to go by with our cameras and watch the Piggott firefighters watching that. So let's have a look at that now. Brutal conditions for firefighters Sunday afternoon. The high heat and humidity, the smoke and everything from that fire was quite a difficult one to handle, but they did a great job, and we always tip our hat to our first responders and the great job that they do for us. Also had some other activities going on around the region this week. In fact, the fair actually kicked off last Saturday morning, the 7th, with the 5 Clay Run for Fun. And that was originated right out here at the opening gate, the front gate of the fairgrounds. Didn't have a big, huge participation. It was rather muggy and hot that day, but we were there with our camera. Let's take a look at some of those highlights.
Better go!
And we'll have all the results of that posted in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat, so be sure to pick up a copy of next week's paper. That would be the September 18th edition. Also coming up in that edition, we'll have a complete wrap-up of the fair. We'll have all the pageant winners and all the other details and a lot of great photos and such as we share the 2013 Clay County Fair with you. We mentioned during last week's webcast, it was 60 years ago this month that the fair moved to this location in the fall of 1953, and this has really come a long way from being a farm at that time. And the Fair Board and the Junior Fair Board, they've done a great job. If you're watching this on Thursday evening, Friday, or whatever, we also like to remind you the Fair Kitchen is open, and Lucille Hartsfield's managing this year, and a lot of great volunteers and some great food, so just stop by and get that. Check that out if you get a chance. Another activity that was going on this week was Grandparents' Day, held at Piggott Elementary School, and our camera was there for the 3rd and 4th grade Grandparents' Day. Let's look at a few highlights of that. Great turnout for Grandparents' Day there at Piggott Elementary School, at least for the 3rd and 4th grade, and I had the opportunity to go, and Miss Leanne and the crew did a great job as usual. Now, coming up in the next edition, we'll be talking about sports. Now, tonight it's Thursday, and the Mohawk Junior squad, they'll be opening their season on the road at Westside. We'll have a recap. The Mohawks will be on the road at Brooklyn tomorrow night. We'll also have an update on the Junior Cougars and also the Midland game coming up for the Rector JV squad. That's all coming up in the next edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat. We encourage you to pick up a copy of that next week, and we also encourage you to pick up a copy of the Delta Voice. It's available on newsstands all up and down the region. It's absolutely free, and you can find out how you can sign up to win possibly $300 cash. All you have to do is pick up a copy of the Delta Voice. Well, again, we'd like to encourage everyone to come out and visit the 2013 edition of the Clay County Fair here at the fairgrounds in Piggott. Folks have worked hard, especially the Junior Fair Board, to make this a true county-wide event, and we appreciate the participation from folks that have to drive over from other parts of the county to come here and to bring their animals to show and so forth. Appreciate that participation, and it's a great event, and we encourage everyone to support it as much as they can. Well, with that, we wrap up another edition of the Clay County Times-Democrat Weekly Web Update, brought to you here on cctimesdemocrat.com by the good folks at Piggott State Bank. And until next time, I'm Tim Blair reporting.
Shoulder. Probably don't have the mass and muscle and depth of side as the Belton hog does, but probably moves around the ring just a little freer, a little easier. So I think it's really close. It's kind of give and take. It is a market class, and that gives me a little bit more edge toward meat, muscle, and mass. So we're going to use the